Now, folks, you know me and my tendencies. Well, I have somebody on with me today that might start off one of those tendencies, which is to sing on the podcast. May find myself doing that in the middle of this, as today I'm going to be speaking to Roy Lucian Baza about his life in music. But first, before we get into that and his new era of, what did you call it? Pink?
Boy Lucien Pink.
Boy Lucien Pink. I love that so much. I really love that so much. Let's have this little ditty from the people at Analog Trash.
Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop.
Roy, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me, Graham. I appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. Where are you coming from?
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
Yes.
What a beautiful, beautiful place. And now you'll say you're entering this era, or you're in this era at the moment, but how many previous eras have you had?
One. This is my second album. Yeah, the Roy era, and now we're very much so living in the Boy Lucien era.
Okay. What made you decide to do that specifically?
The Roy era was just so depressing for me.
Oh, right.
It was. That era was not it. It was, the album is very complex. The first album, and it dealt with a lot of personal stuff, and having to relive that nightly while on tour and whatnot was just not fun for me. And that is why, hence the pink. I wanted something joyful. I wanted something light and something that I could genuinely feel happy about and bringing joy to people with this second album of mine, as opposed to the first one was just a very much so roller coaster of emotions. And I'm glad to be living and thriving in this pink little pocket that I have now from Boy Lucien.
I love that. Some people would ask you why on earth you did the first album then, but like any true artist, you had to get it out of you. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, we couldn't have gotten to this album without the first album. So
everything's always a reaction to the last thing that you do.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
Did your listening habits change particularly between the first album and the second album?
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. But the second album, I'm more home with my genre now and my voice and everything. The first album, I like to consider it's a full body of work that I feel that is very cohesive. A lot of people didn't feel it was cohesive just because the genres would switch up on every other track.
Yeah,
but
right.
I grew up with so many different genres, and I wanted an album that represented my upbringing, essentially. And
because it was about that, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And in order for me to do that, I had to stay true to each song and their various genres. So I feel like album one could be considered a mixtape in a way, just because the genres would change on each track, be it the alternative or the R&B or the country. And with Boy Lucien, it's just one whole cohesive pack of R&B, soul, pop music, which is where I come from. And I'm glad to be home in my home genre now. But knowing me, I love to play around in genres, so I wouldn't be surprised if I switch it up eventually again.
That's fair. Now, listen, while you're here and you mentioned the word, can you help me define this, right? Because like back in my day, a mixtape was something that a fan did, right?
Mm-hmm.
Putting together, their favorite tracks and whatever. These days, right? So many artists are using the word mixtape kind of they flip between it's a mixtape and it's an album. It's a mixtape. It's so confusing.
Yeah.
What makes it a mixtape? What makes it an album?
I feel like a mixtape is the genres have to switch, and they're different types of songs. And some people are just promoting their mixtapes, technically their albums.
Exactly. Right.
There's no switch up on their mixtape. It's really just an album. If you look at it, you peel back all like you know,
It just sounds more retro. It sounds more cool in a way, doesn't it?
Exactly. And I feel like some artists don't want to consider their albums as proper albums. So they're just like, here's a mixtape.
Yeah.
And they don't want to consider it a part
It's
of
a
their
get out clause.
Exactly. Yeah.
I started to do an EP. I had a few more songs than was going to be comfortable on an EP. I don't want to call it an album.
Yep.
I call it a mixtape.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing, folks.
Exactly.
Don't think we don't see you out there. Cool. Now, you came to find me because of another artist that's been on there. Who was that?
Yeah, my friend Kia.
Yeah.
A while back, and I watched it, and I was like, I need to talk to Graham, and I was just waiting for like the right time. But with the new single out, I was like, okay, I think it's the right time to go and talk to Graham now.
Now, I've got to ask you about this because when I look at my demographics, my biggest demographic is in America. And that always intrigues me because do you think America, they don't have anything else like this particularly?
Yeah. You know what? It's funny because my demographic is actually over there on your side.
Let's swap.
Yeah, right.
Well, this will just blow up then, won't it?
Hopefully, fingers. I mean, that's where my listeners come from, is over there. So I'm like, okay, this makes perfect sense for me, and go to talk to Graham as well.
Yeah. Oh, you wait till we collab on this on Instagram. This is going to go mad, right?
But after, America, like you said, doesn't really have things like this. Doesn't really have a platform like this. So, it's nice to have, especially in today's age where we can sit and chat like this. It's nice to have this because, it was even worse before when things like this didn't exist.
I've talked to some very, very big world artists on here, which frankly I shouldn't have been able to. But I do wonder whether like part of that is the fact that, especially for a lot of artists these days, in terms of the media side of things, it gets squeezed into, well, there's two things that are either out there. There are either a lot of homegrown interview type things like this, but half of them are bloody dull, right? With presenters that can't present.
Yeah.
Sorry, folks, but it's true. Or there's radio jocks out there that interview people about music all the time that never actually listen to music.
Exactly. Yeah.
It struck me. That's one of the reasons I started this, was because I wanted to kind of bring my years of doing this in radio and as a journalist and everything else to the table. I can do it.
Yeah.
And also bring a bit of enthusiasm, because rather than and at the same time not ask you stupid questions like, what's your favorite biscuit?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Do you know what I'm saying? I just feel like there's a lot of that.
I've done some that are just,
You've done those. You've done those. Yeah. Where it's
and they were just grating.
Yeah. It's literally like, tell us about your latest single. Yeah. Right. And that's kind of it. That's it. That's the extent of what they want to get out of you. And you can't say anything about you, your passion, where you're coming from, your backstory, your history. Oh dear.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. Who is it? If you say you're in your comfort zone now with, this kind of this soul vibe and this, and there's a lovely kind of sort of early 90s, late 80s kind of feel to a lot of that as well, which is beautiful.
Thank you.
Takes me right back to sort of, buying Will Downing albums and Misha Paris and, all of that great stuff that was coming out at that sort of time. But who are your references?
For this album, straight up Michael Jackson is what I brought in. I grew up with Michael, and I really wanted, like I said, I wanted to get back home to my roots, and Michael was my roots growing up. And artists like him and Lionel Richie and Stevie Wonder and Prince and just Aretha Franklin, all that little pocket there of greatness. what I wanted to incorporate within my sound. And of course, like even with like some modern day R&B artists like Justin Timberlake or The Weeknd, we were very fortunate enough to actually have Justin Timberlake's actual band come in and play on Boy Lucien with the Regiment horns. So the horn players on the record are Justin Timberlake's band. Very fortunate that they loved what they heard in the demos and wanted to come and be a part of it. We even had CeCe Thomas, who is Diana Ross's musical director, come in and play bass on this record. So to have that kind of stamp of approval from these people that are well vetted within the industry already and have such deep roots within our culture, within songs that have been released, meant the world. I'm just grateful that I was able to get a chance to experience that within my career, and to have them come on and, you know, bless these songs with some of that greatness from the people who came before.
You're talking about some great names there, some absolute legends. What did you learn? You must have learned loads of stuff in making this album. What like, go on then, biggest kind of learns from, you know, the
Mr.
greats.
Thomas came in and he was just telling stories about Diana, because, you know, Diana's still on tour and whatnot, and to hear stuff about her early days with Michael, and just to see how the industry is for somebody that is a pure legend at their, you know, at their age now and whatnot, was just, it was incredible. And learning from the Regiment horns and hearing how Justin does his work in the studio, forever changed me. It's worth everything. And I'm so grateful for the time that I got to spend with them and to be able to call them a friend now, which is a little weird as well. But just, it was so cool. I was starstruck each time, and I couldn't show it because in our industry, we can't really be showing that. And it was just like every time we would go on a break, I would like pinch myself because I'm like, oh my God, that's the Regiment horns. That's CeCe Thomas. We're here making this record. And I told my producer, Ben, who is more so my big brother, we do everything together on the music side. And I was like, how did you score this?
Yeah.
He was the one that reached out to them. He was just like, I had friends of a friend who I was able to send over our demos to. And when they came in, I was like, oh, this is very different from the Roy album. Because the first album felt like we were, you know, just throwing darts at a board, trying to figure out where we would land, hence the different sounds and what that era was. With this one here, though, we came in, you know, worked on it for about 6 months. And then we were like, all right, let's start feeling this out and seeing what demos we can send out to people. And sure enough, you know, people bought the bait. And here I am in the studio 2 months later with Justin Timberlake's band, which is insane. And then to see them, they left right on tour after that to go be with, you know, on Justin's tour. So it was just something I always cherish. And just the little moments like in between, seeing how they work, forever changed my work ethic as well. I'm glad I have some of it secretly on camera that I watch back to myself now. I'm like, oh.
Do you know if Justin's listened to this?
I hope so. I mean,
come on, I would be there like, you know, hey guys, has Justin listened to this? I just want to know. I don't, you know, I don't need a reaction. I just need to know, has he listened to this?
Right? I hope so. I love those guys. Sean, Eric, and Leon are their names. And I hope they played it for Uncle Justin, as their kids call him. So which was so weird to hear that kind of side of things on, you know, what the public doesn't see. But I hope gets to hear it. I mean, there's a song called Lucien on Boy Lucien, which is our nod to Justin's Sonoria. And to have like the original horn players play on our song as well is like,
wow.
Yeah, forever.
Did you play, or did you sing any of it live whilst people were recording, or did you sort of do all of the vocals after the tracks had been layered?
Yeah, so they played it when they came and played. They played off my demo vocals.
Right, yep.
I didn't sing it until after their stuff was done. So I had the privilege of actually recording it with everything completed on everyone else's side. So I got to hear everything, honestly, for the first time through my headphones.
Did you was there a moment at all when during any of those vocal takes when you heard that sound for like, you know, the first time or whatever, and you just went, and then you almost forgot to sing because
Yeah.
it's just like, yeah.
1000%. I was so shook. I didn't even know because I had, I'm there to comp the parts as well. So of course I heard it, but with the demo vocals. But it's very different when you put those headphones on, and you're like just there on your own, and then it starts playing, and you're like, oh shit, I gotta sing to this.
Yeah. And you're thinking, I've got to sing to this
Exactly.
now. Yeah.
Exactly. And I'm so grateful that we did it that way because it made it.
You would have just gone.
Yeah, it made it more real for me, and it was surreal. That's something I won't forget, was actually hearing those for the first time in my monitors, and was like, oh wow, this is like
Wow.
this, my song now.
Yeah.
Being played by these legends within the industry. So yeah, something I'll always share is just those kind of moments right there.
Is there anything that didn't make the cut on this album?
No.
Nothing. Loved it.
Nothing. Yeah. We went in and just honestly 10 for 10. And then on the deluxe version, 13 for 13. But
That's so cool.
I know, because Roy had the first album still has a bunch on the cutting room floor, and
Right.
that thing had like 17 songs. This one here with the deluxe version has 13. So we were able to just go in and record as it was written, and I'm very grateful. A lot of the songs, though, are vastly different from the way that I had originally written them. Considering I'm sitting there on an acoustic guitar playing them, how do you transpose that into like an R&B? Like,
oh, right. Okay. What song changed the most from?
Oh, On Call, period. Yeah. If anybody asks me that, they're vastly different, and I love to listen to the final version and the voice memo that I have.
I love. Do you know what? That's one of my favorite things to do on Instagram or any of those, or YouTube or whatever, is watch those videos where people put up like the finished song and like the original song. Doing the rounds at the moment is Song 2 by Blur. I don't know whether you know that song at all or whatever, but the original song is Damon Albarn, and it's a very slow bossa nova type beat, and then of course the final thing is just like real heavy, gritty guitars, really sped up, and it's just so completely different.
Exactly. At that point, they're two different songs.
They are.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And yet, and it's always funny for a listener when they hear that, because it's like somehow when you get to a final version of the song, everything seems like it should have always been that way.
Yeah.
Not the other way. Right. And yet when someone was writing those lyrics out and whatever, they wrote them over that. They didn't write them over that. So it's
exactly. And I did not know how this was going to work, because like I said, I had written it all on acoustic guitar, and to come in and to have to transpose that into R&B, some of them are easier than others, but like I said, On Call, vastly different from its original form. And sometimes I'm like, oh, wow, that's a completely different song in a completely different genre, essentially, as well. So I actually really like that. I like that way of approaching writing now. I'm like, oh, okay, so I'm going to go in and write it this way, but it's going to come out a completely different way. And I'm totally okay with that now. Like,
yeah,
I was a little bit like, how is this going to work? Now I'm excited to hear whatever I write be transposed into what it's supposed to be and where it's meant to be. And I just love that form of making music and seeing how the original version started and to where it ends up with freaking Justin Timberlake's band playing horns behind me, which is, yeah.
Now you're probably going to say no, but is there anything you would have changed on this album?
No.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
See, I predicted.
If there was anything that I could change, I would add, and we're still technically adding to it.
Yeah.
Just because, like the new single that just came out is a re-record and a reimagining of a song that was already released on the standard edition. So if anything, it would be adding to the record. Just because even when we were finished, like I said, I felt I wasn't finished when we put a period at the end of it. I said, there's still more to this. And I still feel like there's more life in this album and this era. And I look forward to continuing to see what that is as it continues to grow with me.
Okay, well let's do something fun here then. Pick a song on the album which at the moment isn't a duet, but we make it into a duet, right?
Mhm.
I want which song are you picking?
On Call.
Okay, and who are you picking to sing it with you?
I kind of have someone.
Oh,
we're-
right.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We're I'm headlining the Hotel Cafe in 2 weeks in LA. And she's gonna come out and sing it with me. So
Oh
yeah.
my word. You see, I've done it again. I've predicted.
No, if you like, Grandma, if you listen to my album, there is
Yeah.
stuff on there now that I've had it marinate for a while. I'm like, okay, now we
Yeah.
can bring in people to like duets. And I always felt On Call needed a good female R&B vocal on it. And I'm so excited that we get to, show that
Are
very.
you allowed to say who that is, or you're not? This is
I
a
think it's
secret.
announced. Her name is Ariel.
All right.
Yeah, she's from Los Angeles. Beautiful R&B singer. I saw her perform.
She's also in The Little Mermaid.
You know what? Like I told her when I
She
first.
could be.
Exactly. I call her Princess Ariel. So I'm like,
Yeah,
all right,
right.
Ariel, you're gonna come and sing On Call with me. But I was so honored that she said yes to doing it because I
Wow.
really wanted a beautiful like R&B female vocal and found it with an Ariel. So we're singing it in 2 weeks on the 23rd. And then
Yeah.
hopefully not long after we'll be in the studio doing that version.
Nice. Is she on Instagram? She must
Yeah,
be.
she is.
Okay.
I think her IG handle is my name is Ariel. So
Okay. My name is Ariel. We'll tag her in.
yes, please tag her in. She's fantastic.
She'll
and
be like, "Oh, I'm in the interview," and we'll be like, "Yeah, you are." And
I'll text her after this and be like, "You need to watch this."
and also, she's going to have to come in and do a sort of like live rendition with you on something. I
She
just
is.
feel like, yeah, no, but online. I feel we just have
Oh
to do
yeah.
it. Yeah, let's do
Or-
it.
Yes, please. No, as soon as we're done doing that live, I gotta schedule the studio date for her to come in and track her vocals on it. But I'm very excited to sing the song with her live first, and then
I think that's the one where you do like the Instagram video of like, this was the song before we produced it, and then this is the yeah.
Great idea, Graham.
That would be great, wouldn't it?
It would. I've been wanting that song to have like a duetted version.
The full transformation of this song from there to wow.
Exactly. And I feel like people are like, wow, he keeps adding to this album. That's because I feel like I said, it didn't need more, but I still feel like I have more in me for this era.
Yeah. So wait, you've got more to you for this era, right? So do you think we'll see another album of this era? Will this era continue into another body of work, do you think? Or is it just going
right now.
You're writing it right now?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I should be starting in the fall actually.
Cool.
On that.
And can I say, is it the only way to go really is bigger again, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, fantastic. Right. So we need to put a call out right now, maybe, unless you've already got this in your pocket. Orchestras, if there's one out there.
You know what? I have a list, and I was like, I really need a good string section for this record. Which we were very lucky to have on the first album. We didn't have it on the second album, because we had Justin's horns. But on the first album, we did have a string, and I feel like the next record that I'm exploring right now is actually a mix of both albums.
Right. So you need a string section and a horn section. You need everything.
Yeah. I feel
okay. I love it.
Because of my time with Boy Lucien, and also just in general, I've gained a lot of love for that first album. That really, I just didn't want to give the time of day when it was originally released. But now that now that I'm in Boy Lucien, and it's all about discovering the joy within like even some of the darkest moments, I was able to rediscover the joy within, the first record. And I look at it now like I am both. The first album, it's called Roy. Second album, Boy Lucien. We're just missing the B. My name is Roy Lucian Baza. So my next album will not be called Baza, but I feel like just to well-round it and have the RLB and have them just really feel like one whole story told. So I look forward.
I feel someone needs to do a really lovely design on a t-shirt for you for that.
You know what? I would love that, just to celebrate. And I feel like it is a celebration of both albums. The record that I'm writing, I still have a ways to go with it. Like I said, I'm exploring it, but I should be starting in the fall, seeing what that looks like. And like you said, bigger and better horns and string section is welcome. So,
well, that's the thing. You can't have one thing without another thing. One bit of art only exists because one other bit of art came before it.
Exactly.
Has to be like that.
Exactly. Yes.
In terms of those two albums, where and when should people listen to them?
Spotify.
No. But no, I mean like the first album. What time of day? Whereabouts? In what kind of room? And then the second album. Where should you be? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
The first album. Just because it skips the genres, I suggest listening to that throughout the day and maybe starting it in the evening, just because it's much more darker.
Yeah.
It does get lighter towards the end of the record. So I would say start that in the evening and finish
early evening into yeah. Okay.
And then Boy Lucien, I always said that album feels like it's a nighttime album. Even with the songs that are like Loverboy, Forever Yours, a new single, very much so like a daytime song. Yeah. But a lot of that record, I say, is set in the evening. It's, let's party. It's joy. It's fun. And I feel like it should be played in the evening for Boy Lucien.
I think so. So you take people through the whole evening with that. That's lovely.
And I feel like when Ben and I were making the record, like by the time we got to track 10, he said to me, he was like, this is the end of the party. Like it's time to go. And you feel that at track 10. But then because of me, who I am as an artist, I always intended to include like the 3 holiday tracks on the deluxe version, just because I felt this was already joyful. Let's add joy, throughout the entire year.
So when you write this new album, you need to include at least one track which is waking up in the morning.
You know what? I do, just so you can start your day with the album, right?
Yeah, exactly, right. Just you know where you get those songs where it's just like,
yeah.
When I wake up in the morning light, it's just like, yeah, okay.
We need to, and I do feel like this album will have that, just because I feel like I said, Roy needs to start at the nighttime. Boy Lucien is the nighttime. This one here, considering everything, is past tense now, it feels like we're in the daylight.
Nice.
And that feels like the record that I'm writing right now with this next era that we will talk about in the future.
I love that. You're covering all the bases.
Thank you, Graham.
You've got a superb set of tunes there, sir.
Thank you.
And thank you for putting them out there into the world and letting people hear them. What's your greatest ambition for this album? Not for you, yeah, but for this album.
Ooh. That it continues to bring joy long after I'm here.
That's always the best thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And do you know what we need to help make that happen, folks? Is that if somebody could like take something from this album and just put it into a classic film or something like that, that would just be marvelous. People aren't making enough romantic films, by the way. I'm just gonna say that as well. We got lots of horror films, lots of thriller films. We just need more just real romantic films. That one of the tracks from this could just,
I hope so, Graham. That
would be good, wouldn't it?
It would be great residuals, but also beautiful memory for me. That's like, I just did an interview, I think like 2 weeks ago, and the interviewer asked me, she was like, I see that you have a big visual component to your songs. And I'm like, honestly, I write them to be visuals. I write them to be put into visuals.
Yeah, right.
My hope, is that my song is playing over some montage or some love scene that will forever be iconic for people to look back on.
Absolutely. I mean, we had the passing of Brian Wilson recently. God bless his soul. And but you know what? There's a whole generation out there that actually didn't know the Beach Boys, right? Didn't know anything else. But you know what they know? They know that song, God Only Knows, right, is the song that goes over the end montage of Love Actually. That's what they know.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
But do you know how powerful that is? That's so powerful because it means that people hear that and they go, oh, it's the song from that. And then people go, yeah, and do you know who that is? And do you know? And then they find out and then they investigate and then they hear the music and then they, yeah.
Exactly.
It's a wonderful thing when that happens.
It lives on and it finds a new way to thrive, after
it
the
does.
fact. Yeah.
It does. And it becomes more than the sum of its parts as well, because, somebody has put something visually beautiful with something that is beautiful to hear. And it just becomes a bigger thing.
I agree.
Roy, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, sir. Thank you very much for coming.
Of course.
And talking to me. And I hope the people of the USA who listen to this will now come and support you in his droves. And if you are one of the few people that listen to this in the UK, then you'll know who Roy is anyway, because you love him already. That's a good, beautiful thing. This also is quite big in Brazil. I don't know how well you're doing in Brazil, but if you're in Brazil today and you're listening to this, this is Roy, folks. And, I'm sure you'll enjoy Roy's music. It's just weird how the world works these days.
I know. But hopefully these US people, we're playing, like I said, we're playing Hotel Cafe in LA. If anybody's around on the 23rd, 9 p.m., we're headlining. So
do it. Get down there. Get down there. Show some support. What do you want people to wear so that they actually show their support? I mean, I feel pink. Yeah.
Yeah, and people do show up in pink to my shows, which I'm so glad it's caught on now.
Yeah. I'd like everybody to turn up in pink cowboy hats.
Oh, please. Yes.
Yeah, but with little strings.
Yes.
Coming out of there. That would be marvelous. Just so Roy knows that you've heard this and you're turning up dressed to impress. That's fantastic. Exactly. Roy, it's been a pleasure as always. We will be putting the links to Roy's music on this as it goes out. But if you've enjoyed this today, if you've enjoyed the conversation, then do go and check out the music and don't just listen to it. Stop, talk to Roy online, tell him how much it means to you and add it to a playlist somewhere, right? So that it doesn't get forgotten, doesn't just last for the few minutes and then you move on to the next thing. That's so important.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
We will be back soon with more of my music. But until then, from Roy and myself, take care of yourselves and have a good day.
Everyone.
Bye for now.